My dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, I am greatly delighted and thrilled to welcome you to this 14th National and 5th International IACTA TE workshop, which is now being held as a webinar in view of the prevailing pandemic situation. This I consider as one of my biggest events in my life, and it's an absolute dream come true for me. To kickstart the program, I invoke the blessings of the Almighty Lord Ganesha by lighting the lamp. I pray the Lord Ganesha for the success of the event, not only for the success of the event, but also for the health, prosperity, wealth, and more importantly, freedom from the corona from the world. I sincerely pray him for this. And I'm just going to light the lamp.
Yes.
I just lighted the lamp. And God Ganesha's big head indicates capacity and capability to think big. Small eyes indicate concentration. Large ear indicates listening well. Small mouth indicates talk less. And trunk or the proboscis indicates adaptability. And for me, it looks like a TE probe. And the raw rat or mouse, which is the vehicle of Lord Ganesha, indicates desires. And it is the significance of the rat is that if you ride on the rat, you can control the desires. That is what it represents. I am sincerely grateful to the Narayana Hrudayalaya, the NH Hospital Group, the IACTA, the Indian Academy of Echocardiography, the Indian Association of Cardiothoracic Surgeons, the Simulation Society, the International Society of Cardiac Ultrasound, the American Society of Echocardiography, and the European Association of Cardiothoracic Anesthesiologists for providing unconditional support. I should not forget here the great contribution and the support we have received from the University of Minnesota, which they have provided the support without any conditions. In with these few words, I would like to invite Dr. P.K. Nima, who is the president of the IATA, to come over and address the gathering. Dr. P.K. Nima, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. With great pleasure, I welcome you all to this 14th National and 5th International Tea Meeting. I was looking forward to be at Bangalore, but because of COVID-19, the meeting is now online. I congratulate Dr. Murli and his team for arranging tea meeting for last 14 years. They have been doing an extraordinary and wonderful job. Congratulations to Dr. Murli and his team. Well, tea came in anesthesia practice in 90s, and that was the time I was also learning the art and science of cardiac anesthesia. It is natural for cardiac anesthesiologists to learn and master tea because so that they have extraordinary knowledge of cardiac physiology, they have knowledge of the physics underlying the cardiac flow, etc. Now, for learning T needs knowledge of five important subjects, that is physiology of circulation, pathophysiology in various cardiac diseases, basic physics, physics of ultrasound, basic knowledge of computer science, and anatomy of heart and great vessels. Now, I have gone through the topics of the webinar. I believe we should include a few sessions on anatomy of heart also, and we should also concentrate on pediatric T, for which session on cardiac embryology, anatomy of various congenital heart defects, and how the anatomy changes after corrections, that should also be focused. I am sure that this webinar will enhance knowledge of all the participants. I wish you all a pleasant experience. Once again, my congratulations to Dr. Murli and his team. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Nima, for that wonderful introductory talk and welcome address. Now we will be listening to Dr. Rupert Emanuel, who is the CEO of Narayana Group of Hospitals, followed by Dr. Suresh Nair, who is the Vice Chancellor of Indian College of Cardiac Anesthesia. But before that, Dr. Deepak Tamta will address us. He is the Chancellor of Indian College of Cardiac Anesthesia. Just after Suresh Nair, we'll be getting Dr. Suresh Rao, who is the Senior Vice President of the IACTA, followed by Naman Shastri, Dr. Naman Shastri, who is the Dean of Echocardiography in the College of Cardiac Anesthesia. Can I ask Dr. Rupert to come on to the screen, please? Dr. Rupert's.
Good evening to everyone. On behalf of Narayana Hrudayalaya, I welcome you all to this 5th International and 14th National Transesophageal Echocardiography Workshop, which is being held in a form of a webinar for the first time. We come into this August gathering in the midst of this global COVID-19 crisis. Few states have borne the brunt of it so far, and a lot of hospitals have been bracing for the worst, and a lot of healthcare institutions have been taking extreme measures to respond to this crisis effectively. The transesophageal echocardiography has been evolving over the last 2 decades, and the applications has been expanding over the last 2 decades, and it's not only applicable for cardiac anesthesia, but also in other fields of anesthesiology and acute care settings as well. And we all know that it dramatically influences the patient's intraoperative management. And I'm very happy that the 5th National and the 14th, 5th International and 14th National TE workshop endorsed by so many societies is being held in the midst of all this COVID-19 crisis. I'm sure Professor Muralidhar and all the others seniors in the IACTA body have put up a wonderful show for all these years. And in this webinar format, I'm sure you'll be also enriched with the scientific program, and you'll be benefiting a lot by this program. I thank once and everyone for this, and stay safe and take care. Thank you.
Good evening, all of you, and welcome to this 14th IACTA TE workshop and 14th National and 5th International IACTA TE workshop, which is being held under extraordinary circumstances. And this is the first time that we are holding this workshop on web. This is obviously, as you know, due to the COVID problem that the country is facing. And that's why we had to resort to this particular methodology. As you know, IACTA is a political organization with academic objectives, just like any other political organization in the world, American Heart Association, European associations. They are political organizations, but their primary goal is to improve education and academics in that particular field. So in that respect, I think IACTA and its wing of Indian College of Cardiac Anesthesia have performed exceptional work during last few years. Now, I was told that I have 2 minutes to talk, and I was wondering as to what I should speak in 2 minutes. And I decided to cite our former president, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, as to what is his perception regarding the requirements of students, the current present day students of our country. And many of you might have read his book, Wings on Fire, where he mentions 5 I's. I'm not talking of EYEI, but the capital I. So he mentions about 5 I's. The first I is information. And as you know that in today's world of information technology, you know, we are overloaded with information. And information alone is not sufficient, because at most it can make you knowledgeable. So one of the parts, or one of the objectives of IACTA is to make you knowledgeable, but making knowledgeable by passing on information is not going to be enough. That's what Dr. Kalam feels, and he feels that it should be accompanied by another I, which is the imagination. And you might have heard him say a number of times that if you want to succeed, you must dream. And that is what imagination means, that you must dream about your objectives in your life. And he also defines what is a dream. सपने वो नहीं होते जो नींद में देखे जाते हैं, सपने वो होते हैं जो आपको सोने नहीं देते. So the dreams are not those that you see in your sleep, but are those which you do not let you sleep. That is what it means. So information followed by imagination. The third I he mentions is the intuition, and which is necessary. And the fourth one is the integration. So integration means that when you integrate the information, imagination, and intuition, you integrate all these three together, which culminates into the fifth I, which he mentions, which is innovation. So the primary objective of today's teaching methodology should be to make you feel innovative in your subjects, and that is what the objective of education should be. So I think I have summarized what Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam has conveyed to his students, and that is what I feel and believe that the IACTA would be doing in this present webinar. And all the presenters will ensure that not only they pass on the knowledge, but also inspire you to think in positive manner and to be innovative in your respective fields, so that you can contribute to the society. So thank you very much, and I wish all the best to all the participants, delegates, speakers, and the organizers. Of course, special thanks to Dr. Muralidhar for organizing this workshop for last 14 years, 13 years consecutively with great success. So wish you all the best once again, and thank you very much for listening to me.
Okay, good morning and welcome to the 14th National and the 5th International TE Conference. They say that when the situations get tough, the tough actually gets going. We are going through a phase where the whole world is actually going through a crisis, and I'm not really sure when we are actually going to have a live conference and as in the usual sense. So having a conference of this magnitude where it is highly dependent on software, it's almost a very, very difficult task. So hats off to Dr. Muralidhar and his team for making the impossible possible today, because in the next few days we are going to go through the National TE workshop. Most of the videos will be displayed on the screen, and they're also planning to, I think Dr. Rajesh Arya and his team are going to make a video or CD out of it, which will be circulated. Now, this is not an easy task, especially when we consider the fact that, as I said earlier, that the software content is too high or too complex to be talked of or thought of. Anyway, my blessings and best wishes to the entire team. And like everybody else, we wait for August for the TE conference, just like that I have also been waiting. Unfortunately, I could not attend the last two sessions in last 2 years. So it's almost like eagerly waiting for the conference to start on the 23rd. And I wish the entire team my hearty congratulations and hoping for the best in the next few days. Thank you.
It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all for the IACTA TE webinar 2020. I have to congratulate Dr. K. Muralidhar and the organizers for the immense efforts they have taken to make this webinar possible, which is endorsed by American Society of Echocardiography, University of Minnesota, Indian Association of Cardiothoracic Surgeons, and several other reputed organizations. When the TE technology was introduced, there was a dilemma whether the cardiac anesthesiologists can report TE findings. But today, in most of the centers, it is the cardiac anesthesiologists who are consulted for doing the TE examination. Credit goes to all the senior faculties like Dr. Mehta, Dr. Muralidhar, Dr. Tempe, and several other members of the society. It's a huge challenge to conduct such events during COVID pandemic. I appreciate the organizers to take the challenge and make use of the modern technology to go ahead with this annual event. I wish all the best for this webinar and hope that several young cardiac anesthesiologists will get the benefit out of this event. Thank you all.
Hello everyone, good morning, and I'm Dr. Naman Shastri from Ahmedabad. Hope everyone is doing good at their place and safe and sound in unprecedented crisis in terms of COVID-19. The IACTA is always committed to the educations for every single one who's a part of IACTA and who are not a part of the IACTA and continue the education activities. The leading role played by Dr. Muralidhar sir and an entire team of NH for organizing since last 13 years of transesophageal echocardiography workshop, which has been the most popular workshop ever of all the academic activities of the IACTA. And this time it is going to be the 5th internationals and 14th national workshop. I congratulate Dr. Muralidhar sir for organizing such a wonderful programs, and I hope every single individual will take the benefit out of it, and really it will help everyone to grow themselves even at their clinical practice. I also congratulate the team of IACTA, the organizers, not apart from the organizers, the executive members, the presidents, secretaries, ICCA boards, board members, everyone has really taken a pain to continue the education activities during this unprecedented crisis. I hope that these workshops will enlighten you further in progressing your professional career. And again, I thank you very much, Dr. Muralidhar sir, on behalf of the ICCA board, being a Dean of Echocardiography, for organizing such a wonderful workshop in these crises, because to continue the same education activities with the same label, same status, involving so many international faculties into the team of the faculties is very difficult job. And I thank Medinit people also for organizing and taking a wonderful effort and pain for making it successful. Thank you very much.
My dear friends, I take great delight in inviting Dr. Kumar Bilani, who has been closely associated with our organization for over 20 years now. He is a part and parcel of the International TE workshop which we are conducting, and he has guided us through the scientific scheduling and other aspects of the workshop. And he is also a part of the Samba organization, and critical care is one of his favorite fields. I invite Dr. Kumar Bilani of the University of Minnesota to come on and tell us about his association with our organization, IACTA, and what is his future roadmap for the society to go to the next level. Dr. Kumar Bilani, please.
Thank you, Dr. Muralidhar. Greetings from Minnesota, all the speakers and all the delegates. I welcome you all to this 14th International and 5th International TE workshop that has been so well organized by IACTA and endorsed by the several credible societies that Dr. Muralidhar listed when we started this program today. This has been a most comprehensive workshop ever since its inception, and I'm very glad to be part of it since the beginning. And it has not only been responsible for educating all of us, but also has allowed us to interact with experts in the field. This is the first time we are doing this digitally, and I think we have been forced to do this because of the global pandemic that has affected all of us. And I want to thank the organizers and sponsors to make this happen successfully. And I take this opportunity to welcome all the speakers and delegates and wish you success in this exemplary program. Now, as far as the future goes, I think we have to work as a team to see how we can take advantage of this Zoom platform so that we can have both global participation at the same time. What are the things we can do physically and allow us to interact physically? And I think with this very team that has participants from all over the world, I'm sure we can make this happen in such a way that it will benefit all of us. And I think we have to take the lessons we learned from this pandemic and avoid the mistakes we made in the past, but take benefit from what we learned from this. So I wish you all the success in this program, and I think everybody will have the opportunity to learn again from what we have done for the last 14 years. Thank you again, Murali. You've done a great job. Thanks to IACTA and all the people that put effort to make this successful. And thank you also to the sponsors.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar Bellani, for those excellent words. We really appreciate your support, which has been given to us unconditionally. I should underline that word unconditionally several times to be able to emphasize that you have been with us all through. Now, I take great pleasure to invite Dr. Rajesh Arya, who has been backbone for me. He has been supporting this activity with all his heart and might. And I invite Dr. Rajesh Arya to propose vote of thanks, and then we'll go ahead with the scientific program just after that. Dr. Rajesh Arya, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Dr. Murali, for conducting such a sequence and year after year, such a successful and such a beautiful conference. This is 14th year in succession, and 13 years we have been meeting physically to each other. And let me tell you, all these 14 years during the conference, everybody used to be inside the hall. Not even a single person was standing when the scientific sessions are going on. So I'm sure this year also all the people will be stuck to their mobile or the laptops or the computers and listening and participating in the discussion. We are thankful to the IACTA Executive Committee, the Indian College of Cardiac Anesthesia, and all the organizers and all the people starting from Dr. Mr. Venkat and all support staff of Narayana Hridayalaya. And we are thankful for Narayana Hridayalaya to provide us the platform for this beautiful conference. We are thankful to all the delegates, all the speakers who have spared time to come online and deliver their talks, share their experiences. All the delegates are invited for this workshop. And apart from that, I thank the industry which has come up for the first time probably for this sort of online webinar. The GE people, the Philips and the Edward Life Sciences, they have really taken the initiative, and on a simple request of Dr. Murali and our team, they have agreed to participate and support this workshop. And I'll be feeling if I don't thank the Medinet people, Mansa, Kanchan, Bharat, and all the support staff of Medinet. They've been working day and night, and whatever time we call them, they arrange meeting for us. And I'm sure, like it is said, more you share your knowledge, more you get knowledgeable yourself. So I'm sure with all the lectures, the delegates will get the knowledge, and even by distributing the knowledge by the faculty, they'll gain their experience of presenting, the experience of answering the questions also. I wish them all the best, and I thank each and everyone. And if I fail, if I don't speak about Dr. Murali, he just said that I'm the backbone of this conference. But let me say, I would like to be the tarsal and metatarsals of Dr. Murali. I cannot be more than that. I'm just on your foot, Dr. Murali. You are so pious person in our society that everybody respects you to the from the heart, from the brain, and everywhere. I mean, you have been taken as one of the God sort of feature in our society. Thank you, Dr. Murali, for keeping this trend continued, keeping the workshop continued year after year. I welcome all, and I give it back to Dr. Murali to start and conduct the scientific sessions. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rajesh Arya, for such kind words. And I'm standing erect because of your support. There's no doubt about that. I can assure you that I'm standing erect today because of your support. With that, I think we should move on to the scientific sessions. And we have the first session of today is moderated by Dr. Yatin Mehta and Srinivas G. And the panelists will be Hiremat, Dr. Hiremat, Dr. Satish Govind, Dr. Murali Chakravarti, Dr. Vijay Shetty, and Dr. Hema Nair. And the moderators are requested to introduce the speaker and the topic and start the presentation. Panelists are requested to participate in the question answers and discussion section. And I sincerely request the speakers to stick on to the time allotted and stay till the end of the program, so that if there's any questions and answers, you might have to address that. And the questions and answers will be at the end of the session. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming to this webinar.
Hello.
Dr. Yatin Dosa.
Yeah, okay. Good evening, everybody. At the outset, let me thank Dr. Muralidhar, Rajesh Arya, IACTA for organizing this, and thank my co-moderator Srinivasan, I think who's very well qualified to moderate the session. Now we have the first talk. Without much ado, we'll get on with the first talk. Dr. Bedge is very, very active in IACTA, particularly in the tea division, and we start with a comprehensive tea and update. I would request all the speakers to stick to the time, otherwise we'll eat into the Q&A at the end. So please, 20 minutes is your time, try to finish in time. Vaishali, please.
Yeah, thank you, Yatin Mehta, sir. Good evening, Dr. Yatin Mehta, sir, Dr. Srinivas, panelists, my respected teachers, senior faculty in IACTA, and my dear colleagues. I welcome you all for this 14th National and 5th International Tea Workshop, which is being organized at Bangalore every year. But this year, because of pandemic, we are having webinar, and I must appreciate Murli sir that he did not step back and he continued this program. I would also like to thank Dr. Kanchi sir for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this 14th National and 5th International TE workshop. So when we do any puja, anyway, yesterday was Ganesh Chaturthi, we first do Ganpati Pujan. So same for TE. Before getting to know details about TE, we need to know comprehensive TE examination. That is, we need to know how to get all the probes, all the TE views. So it is critical in anesthetic management. It has a diagnostic tool and it monitors cardiac function. It allows us to get familiarized with normal and abnormal anatomy. And it has a significant impact on both surgical care and management. The absolute contraindications are recent esophageal surgery, gastric surgery, esophageal stricture, diverticulum, and tumor, where you cannot pass the probe at all, and cervical spine instability. Initially, there were 20 views which were identified to know the abnormality. Now, from 2013, 28 views have been described. Now, examination sequence depends on each and every echocardiographer, whether it should be mid-esophageal or transgastric and upper esophageal. I personally feel whenever we put the probe in, it is in mid-esophagus. So finish of mid-esophagus, go to transgastric and then upper esophageal views. And you can, while coming back up from transgastric, you can again visualize mid-esophageal views. So starting with mid-esophageal views, when you put the probe first in the esophagus, it is usually at 30 centimeters. And the first thing you can see is mid-esophageal 5-chamber view. And in this is the LA, this is LV, this is RA, RV, and you can see LVOT here. This is the anteromatral leaflet and posteromatral leaflet. You can diagnose ASD, VSDs here, septal measurements in Hookup. At 0 degrees, again, when we go further in, we see mid-esophageal 4-chamber view. In this view, again, we can diagnose chamber dilatation function, valvular diseases like in mitral and tricuspid, osteopenia ASD, VSD, and we can even diagnose pericardial effusion. From 0 degrees in mid-esophagus, when we increase the multiplane angle to 60 degrees, usually between 50 to 75, we see mid-esophageal mitral commissural view. And this view is very important to tell surgeon about which scallop, which segment to be repaired. And this from right to left here, it's P1, A2, and P3. So you can, if there is a regurgitation or prolapse, you can very well tell a surgeon about this. From mid-esophageal mitral commissural view at 60 degrees, when we increase the angle to 90 degrees, we see mid-esophageal 2-chamber view. And this view is very useful to diagnose LA, left atrial appendage thrombus. And you can also see wall motion abnormality in this view, anterior and inferior wall, apex pathology. This is the left circumflex artery, you can see here, and the coronary sinus. You can see flow in this views in these regions. Okay, now this comes left atrial appendage view. From mid-esophageal two-chamber view, when we increase the angle to 100 to 120, we can see left atrial appendage view. And in this, you can even see left upper pulmonary vein view, pulmonary vein, and it allows us to assess MR and even which eventually tells us about LV diastolic function. There is another way you can get this view. When from mid-esophageal 5-chamber view, when we rotate the probe in anti-clockwise direction, after withdrawing a little bit, you can see left upper pulmonary vein view. And when you rotate the probe in clockwise direction, you see right upper pulmonary vein view in this view. Now coming to mid-esophageal long axis view. From 2-chamber view, when we increase the angle to 120 degrees, in mid-esophageal, you can see mid-esophageal long axis view. And this view allows us to diagnose the mitral valve pathology, spectral Doppler of mitral valve, interventricular septal pathology, LVOT, aortic wall, and aortic root pathology. From mid-esophageal aortic wall, mid-esophageal long axis view, when we withdraw the probe and rotate the probe in clockwise direction, we see mid-esophageal aortic wall long axis view. And this view, in the previous view, we could not see ascending aorta to this extent, but in this view, we can see that. So this is the aortic valve, and this is the right coronary cusp, and the left or non-coronary cusp. This is the sinus of Valsalva, STJ, and this is the proximal ascending aorta. So in this way, we can diagnose if there is any proximal ascending aortic pathology, VSD here. Then this is anteromatral leaflet. In SAM, we can identify this one, and aortic root assessment also we can do in this view. From mid-esophageal aortic wall long axis view, when we increase the multiplane angle to 135 degrees and rotate the probe in clockwise direction, we can see mid-esophageal modified bicable view. And this view is very important to diagnose tricuspid valve pathology and coronary sinus evaluation. So this is the SVC here, this is the coronary sinus, and this is the tricuspid valve. So Doppler beam is parallel to the flow. So this view is very good for tricuspid valve Doppler. Now, when we finish off this mid-esophageal modified bicable view, if we decrease the angle to about 100 to 110, we can see mid-esophageal bicable view. And in this pathology, like ostium secundum ASD, you can see here. This is the septum. This is LA. This is RA. And SVC and IVC. It also allows us to assess SVC flow. If there is we can visualize pacemaker wires. If there is any mass in RA, we can assess and diagnose this view. From mid-esophageal bicable view, when we decrease the angle to between 50 to 75, the mid-esophageal RV inflow-outflow view. For this, when we decrease angle, we have to turn in anti-clockwise direction. And this view allows us to monitor, this is the tricuspid valve and this is the pulmonary valve. It allows us to diagnose pulmonary valve, PA and RVOT pathology, ASD, VSD, even tricuspid valve Doppler. From mid-esophageal RV inflow-outflow view, keeping means if we turn little in clockwise direction and rotate the multiplane angle, decrease the multiplane angle to around 20 to 50, we can see aortic wall long axis view, short axis view, sorry. And this allows us to diagnose, assess aortic wall morphology, ASD, VSD, and LA diameter in LA size and AP diameter. After finishing aortic wall short axis view, we should decrease the multiplane angle to 0 degrees and withdraw the probe till aortic wall disappears. And in this view allows, and we can do some manipulation, either anti-flexion, and this view allows us to see ascending aorta and ascending aorta. This is the SVC and this is the PA. This is LPA, RPA, and this side there will be LPA. And it tells us about if there is any ascending aortic pathology, pulmonary embolism. Now, keeping in the same view, if we increase the multiplane angle to 90 degrees, we can see ascending aorta, and this is the RPA. And this view also allows us to diagnose dissection, aneurysm, and pulmonary embolism. Now coming to midesophageal descending aortic short axis view. From midesophageal 5-chamber view, when we keeping at 0 degrees and when we turn the probe in anti-clockwise direction, we can see descending aortic short axis view. And what you can see here is aortic plaque, dissection, aneurysm, pleural effusion, if there is any incompetence severity, grading of aortic incompetence severity, and IBP position. From descending aortic short axis view, when we increase the angle to 90 degrees, we can see aortic midesophageal descending aortic long axis view. And this view allows us to diagnose atherosclerosis, dissection, and IBP position. Now coming to upper esophageal aortic arch long axis view. From midesophageal descending aortic short axis view, we should continue to withdraw the probe and while gradually rotating the probe in clockwise direction till aorta from circular shape becomes oblong, and this is the aortic arch long axis view. This is the proximal end and distal end. It allows us to again diagnose aortic arch pathologies. And in upper esophageal aortic arch short axis view, when we increase the angle, we can see this is the aortic arch, left common carotid, and this is the MPA, and this is the RBOT, and this is the pulmonary valve. We can do Doppler of this pulmonary valve. So after finishing this upper esophageal view, we can now go to stomach. So cross the gastroesophageal junction. As soon as we are in the stomach, we can see transgastric basal short axis view. And this is the mitral valve. Okay, you can see this is the anterolateral commissure, this is the posterolateral commissure, this is P1, P2, P3, and corresponding A1, A2, A3. So this view allows us to diagnose mitral valve pathology and LV basal segmental function. When we go further in beyond after basal view, we can see transgastric midpapillary short axis view, and this view is very important to diagnose wall thickness. This is antewall, this is anterior wall, this is posterior wall thickness, septal wall thickness. We can see papillary muscle function. So here we can see both the papillary muscles are kissing. This is anterolateral, posteromedial, and this tells us that there is hemodynamic instability. Patient is hypovolemic. He needs volume. We can also diagnose VSD in this view here, and septal wall motion and LV systolic function. From transgastric midpapillary view, short axis view, when we increase the angle to 90 degrees, what we can see is the transgastric 2-chamber view. This view is also similar to midesophageal 2-chamber view, but it's only in the horizontal direction. So this is the LA, this is LA, this is LV, and this is a mitral subvalvular apparatus. We can also diagnose mitral regurgitation in this view. From this view, when we increase the angle to 120, usually it is seen at 120, but sometimes between 100 to 130 you can see transgastric long axis view. So this is the mitral valve, LA, LV, and this is the LVOT, and you can diagnose LVOT gradient, and also important one is prosthetic aortic wall function you can see in this view. Then comes transgastric RV inflow view. From transgastric midpapillary short axis view, we need to rotate the probe in clockwise direction and increase the angle to 100 to 120, where you can see transgastric RV inflow view. This is RA, this is RV, and this is a tricuspid valve. This view is similar to transgastric 2-chamber. Sometimes you can miss it, but how to diagnose that? This is the lever. In transgastric 2 chamber, you can see moving. This structure is not moving, that means it is liver. From transgastric RV inflow view, when we increase the angle to 120 to 130, or sometimes even more than that, you can see transgastric RV inflow outflow view. This is RA, this is tricuspid, and this is the pulmonary valve. So you can diagnose RVOT and pulmonary valve pathology in this view. Then coming to transgastric RV basal short axis view. From transgastric mid-papillary short axis view, when we rotate the probe in clockwise direction and keeping the angle between 0 to 15 or 20, we can see a transgastric basal short axis view. And in this view, this is the anterior, this is the tricuspid valve, this is the anterior leaflet, this is septal, and this one is the posterior. We can diagnose tricuspid valve pathology, even RVOT Doppler we can do in this view. When we finish this thing, when you go further in, we can see apical view. And in this view, we can see apical segment assessment. We can see if there is any thrombus or any aneurysm. Then comes, after everything, when we go further in the stomach, we can see deep transgastric view. We have to, when we go in the stomach further in, we have to antiflex the probe. And this structure is very good because you can see a lot of structures and pathologies in this view. This is the LV, this is the mitral valve, LA and mitral valve. You can see mitral valve pathology, LVOT gradient, aortic Doppler we can do in this view. And it will give you correct measurement of regurgitation or prosthetic wall function in this view. So once we have done with this, all this view, that means we have completed everything. So mid-esophageal, upper esophageal, and then transgastric. So while coming back, you can, if you have missed anything, we can see it again. So once everything is done, we can keep the TE probe in freeze mode so that it doesn't increase, temperature is not increased. The complications most commonly are severe odynophagia and perforation. So we have to manipulate probe very cautiously. If you come across a situation where there is a stuck probe, push the probe into the stomach, release the lock, and then straighten the probe, again lock it, and then remove the probe so that we don't damage any of the structures. So to conclude, it is important to have a consistent and systematic approach to transesophageal echocardiography examination. Screen for esophageal disease before insertion. We should never apply excessive force while manipulating the probe or doing examination. And it is important to examine each and every structure with multiple views so that you can come to correct diagnosis and tell your surgeon. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you, Murli sir. Thank you, everyone.